Today I want to share a story about a client who manifested a date. Seems like a really simple idea, but the process through which this manifestation occurred is really powerful. And so it's a perfect example of what happens in clients' lives when they embrace a positively focused practice. I'm Perry Gruber, the Enlightenment Guy. For over a decade, I've helped people master their mindset so they can create lives they love and get results without the burnout or the hustle. Welcome to Worthiness Wednesday. This is where I speak unscripted about real client breakthroughs from the past week to show you what's possible when you stop doubting your life and your value. So let's begin. So this client, I'm going to call him unimaginatively John. He had some experiences in his past prior to becoming a client that had to do with a lot of sexual abuse, sexual assault, you could say, and sexual exploration. As a result of that, he developed some really negative beliefs that aligned him with a probable reality in which he could not connect with women. Women would spurn him, women would reject his offers to go on dates, and as a result of this, he began to develop really, really negative beliefs about himself and about women. So himself specifically and women in general. The negative beliefs about women developed a strong sense of momentum. Now, momentum is what happens when you focus on a particular subject. You focus your powerful creative energy on a particular subject, and you focus in that direction for a long period of time. It only takes a little while for the momentum to begin, but once the momentum gets going, that belief begins to create a reality that reflects that belief back to you. And so this client, John, had created a lot of negative momentum, belief momentum, around women because of his experiences in his early years. Fast forward to his mid-20s or so, and this client had so much negative momentum, both about his own self-worth and about women, that he aligned himself with an opportunity to spend tens of thousands of dollars on seminars that teach men how to get women, how to dominate them, how to get them out on dates, and eventually get them into bed. Of course, your beliefs and thoughts are what creates your reality, not a seminar. And so, even though John had spent tens of thousands of dollars on these kinds of seminars, because of the powerful belief momentum he had within himself about himself specifically and women in general, he still aligned with a reality consistent with his beliefs, no matter how much money he spent on these seminars. This was well before he became a positively focused client. After he became a positively focused client and understood that he's the creator of his reality and he could create any reality he wants consistent with what he believes, he began to take a look at the beliefs. And through the positively focused framework, I offered him some processes that would allow him to tune his beliefs more into a match to probable future realities where women would find him attractive and interesting. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at that, John didn't do the practice the way I prescribed. He did the practice the way he thought is best. And as a result of many years of doing the practice, he wasn't getting much headway with regard to rendezvousing with women who he would find interesting. So this last week, I kind of called him on the carpet. I explained to him that I knew he wasn't doing the practice the way it's prescribed, and if he would do the practice the way it's prescribed, I encouraged him, he would produce stunning results, not just on the subject of women and his own worthiness, but in his life in general. Well, what's remarkable is he thought about doing the practice, but I could still tell he wasn't really enthusiastic about doing it. So I don't usually do what I'm about to say with clients because individual clients' lives are separate. You can't compare one person's life or their spiral trajectory to another. And so, nevertheless, I compared this client to all of my other clients. And in that comparison, I placed him near the bottom of my clients in terms of achievement. Again, I don't usually do this, but I was inspired to do so. And interestingly enough, when I did this, his negative self-image came out at first, the lack of worthiness that he feels for himself, and then a remarkable shift happened in him. He decided that he did not want to be at the bottom of this list. For some people, competition is a thing. And so after this session, he started doing the practice the way it's prescribed. Interestingly enough, he got such positive results, just the internal vibrational shift he achieved through doing the prescribed practice, he felt tremendously better. And that caused him to want to do the practice more. Now, this is the case with every client. In the positively focused framework, when you start doing the practice, if you do it the way it's prescribed, the results are immediate. And they're so powerful that you'll want more. And so that's what this client started doing. He wanted more, so he started practicing more assiduously. He called it more militantly. The problem is, and I say this with all my clients, when you begin to align yourself with a favorable, positive, future probable reality, your existing now, your present moment reality, which is a reflection of your current state of thoughts and beliefs, is going to want to call your attention back to it. So I demonstrate it this way. Here's you looking at your future probable reality that's aligned with what you want, and back here is your present reality reflecting your past dominant momentum. If you keep focusing here, you will develop momentum such that this future probable reality will become your present reflecting reality. But as you focus here, your present reality kind of goes like this. Hey, what about me? And if you turn and look this direction, your future probable reality collapses, and you return to investing more in your current showing up reality. And that's what this client did. So after about 12 hours, I checked in with him via text and asked him how he was doing. He wrote back and said, let's forget about the last 12 hours. I'm going to start fresh tomorrow. And I told him, no, you're going to look at the last 12 hours and learn from it, because the contrast you created there is very valuable. And so he looked at those last 12 hours and he realized exactly what I was telling him when I gave him this demonstration. That caused him to double down. So he doubled down on the prescribed way of doing the positively focused practice, and a remarkable thing happened. So he doubled down on a Thursday afternoon. On Friday evening, after doing a full day of the positively focused practice, he decided he was going to go out on a walk at night. He got the impulse to go out on a walk. And while he was out there, he came across a woman he had seen before. And the woman saw him and recognized him, but she didn't remember from where. And she said, hey, do I know you? And she struck up a conversation with him. And then, without him having to do anything, she asked for his telephone number. And then on Saturday, she asked him out on a date. They went out on a date. She paid for everything. And then Sunday morning, she sent him a text wanting to go out again. Now think about this. In less than a day of doing the positively focused practice, this client manifested what he was trying to spend tens of thousands of dollars to achieve. Now, it turns out that this client is trans-attracted, which means he's not sexually attracted to cisgender women. He's sexually attracted to transgender women. So the fact that this cisgender woman approached him and took him out on a date, it's a manifestation. It's what he wanted in the past. But more importantly, it's a demonstration of how powerful he can be as a creator when he lines up with the powerful energy that is him. Now, the challenge for this client is he still has really strong, dominant, negative momentum on the two subjects involved here, himself and other people. He doesn't just have, He doesn't just have misogyny going on. He also has misanthropy going on. And that is the result of an extremely strong set of momentum in a belief constellation that includes people. And so as a result of this client, John, he's going to have to soothe all of that until he can align with the probable future reality that includes what he really wants, which is encountering transgender women. The interesting thing is that's happening too. So, what's the story here? The story is being positively focused is the source of your creative power. We are all gods in human form, and we have the ultimate control over our physical reality. But that control takes place in the moment of the becoming, which is not the present moment. The present moment reflects back to us our current momentum of beliefs in our belief constellation. That is the past. The present moment, the real present moment, is the one that is emerging as we are engaging with what we humans call the present moment, which is actually the past. And that's what this client is doing. He's discovering, and all my clients are doing this, we're all discovering how to grab hold of the real present moment, what I call the moment of becoming, and then use our thoughts and beliefs, which are later stage vibrational tools, to create a future probable reality that, if we build momentum behind, will eventually become our present moment. That's what this client is doing. That's what all my clients are doing. And that's what's available to you. Discovering your worthiness by realizing that the universe is always delivering everything you want without you having to do anything other than follow your impulses to where the unfolding is happening. That's the power of being positively focused. You're more valuable than you know. And that value comes from what you are, not what you do. See you next time.